Alright, today on MesaMakes, we're going to do things a little bit different. It's December now, so let's start our winter workshop series, and today we're going to be making an ornament, so stay tuned.
Ho, 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 ho!
So for our winter workshop series today, we're going to be making an ornament, and what this winter workshop series is going to be is, there's 5 weeks in December, so I kind of want to make up a project that can actually be made at the end of it. So I know we've been doing a lot of Onshape drawings, but I want to see what we can do after we've created that drawing, and then we're going to make it. So we're going to start kind of simple today. Every year, for the past couple of years, I started making my kids ornaments. And today I'm going to be doing some logos, and I'm going to laser cut those out of acrylic. So my kids have been really into Spider-Man, and I got my daughter hooked on Power Rangers, so dad win right there. But and she's hooked on the good, like the old ones, not like the newer stuff. So today I'm going to be showing, we'll switch over to Onshape. I am going to be tracing the pterodactyl power coin, and we're going to be tracing the Spider-Man emblem for his head. So I think I'm just going to focus on this one, but at the end of the video I'll kind of clip to what it looks like when I finish that Spider-Man one as well. So first thing, like we always do, we're going to start with our front sketch. Shift and S to start a sketch, N to normalize, and P to hide those planes. Next thing I want to do is come up here, and if you take a look, you might have this drop down and it might be stuck on insert DXF, but we're going to go insert image, and then I'm just going to grab my my picture there. Something I wanted to show you is if you don't have any pictures here, you would come down here to import and then import it from wherever you downloaded that. So real kind of quick fix. Afterwards, it's going to ask you to draw an image rectangle. And I know this is like the 4th video or so that I've shown doing tracing text or tracing images. So I know this is kind of repetitive, but what I want to do now is I'm going to click here and put a point at my center on both sides. I'm going to click that point and my origin and tell them they need to be vertical, and click these and say they need to be horizontal. And then now I can scale that up accordingly from my center. So now what I want to do is do a center point circle, and I'm just going to go to the outermost ring, and that's 6.8 inches. I think I want to go, I don't know, let me see, kind of doing this on the fly. I think 4 inches is probably okay. We'll do 4. So once I do that, it'll scale it all down. I'm going to delete that circle, and we'll select the green check mark. After that, I'm going to start a new sketch on the front plane, same plane like we did before, and now I'm going to start tracing. So again, we're going to redraw that circle, and we're going to go to the outside, and we're going to draw another one. And this is where I kind of take some liberties. I'm going to get rid of some of these details. I'll go about there, so I can actually have this all touch and be a part of one another. So next thing I'm going to do is start with the spline tool, and I'm just going to go through and start tracing. But if you kind of look right here, I want that wing to show, but I need it to kind of come around and then come back up to that. So we're kind of going to play a little bit with some of this stuff. So let's start just drawing our wing right here. So we'll start right here with the spline tool, and I'm going to come down in front of this nose, or beak I guess, and I'll pick back up by pressing escape, and then we're going to come this way. I want to make sure that the you can actually see what the shape is of the pterodactyl. So we're gonna come this way right now. And I'll go to about there. Pick back up. Give it a little more detail. I'm going to trace along the leg here. And I think I'm just going to continue that all the way to there. Alright, so now if we click the green check mark and we accept it, you'll see that we have a ring and we got 2 spots. The problem is if I go, right now we got to figure out what we want to get rid of and what we want to stay. So we're going to have to do some magic here. We can come in here and do this chunk here. So let's cut that out. And then we'll do here as well. And this is kind of, I've done a bunch of these before, just in terms of signs and stuff. This is kind of a piece that kind of messes with you a little bit. You kind of got to start deleting stuff, trying stuff. It's a lot of trial and error before you get it right. So let's come up here to the foot. And I'm going to come a little this way. Trace some of this with that spline tool. Keep using that. Oh, we'll continue that all the way to there. And I'll draw this shape. That'll be easy for it to cut out. If I could draw it right. Come on, there we go. So back with the spline. I think next I'm going to cut you know what, I don't think I like that. Let's go up this way. Yeah, the more I think about it, I'm going to end up trimming this guy right here. That's what I'll do. And then I'll just cheat a little bit, not have that wing come all the way. And we can trim out. Oh, there we go. So now if we were to go ahead and extrude this, just to kind of see what we're dealing with. Right now it looks kind of funky, but that's what we're going for. We're going to try to add some more detail as we go. I'm going to say 0.125. I'm buying 1/8 inch acrylic. Bought it on Black Friday. It should be here tomorrow, I think. So let's come back in here. And now I can start adding some more of these details, and this should clean it up a little bit and give us some actual lines and stuff to play with, some detail. So we'll go with these right here. It's hard too. Sometimes I'll get this from a customer, something like this, and they're like, oh, can you do this? And they'll give me a logo that looks really nice as like a sticker. But the second you try to turn it into metal or acrylic or wood or whatever, if you don't have a way to engrave on top of it, or you're just cutting straight through, you got to figure out what's going to stay and what's going to go. And I think we'll come up here. Do that. Let's see what that looks like final. So we're getting there. It's kind of looking like a pterodactyl a little bit. Let's go back in here. So now I'm gonna need to cut that nose out. So I'm gonna get rid of that right there. There we go. Let's add this mouth. We'll go from here. I don't know if I'm going to add the tongue. If I went bigger, I would, but I think I'm just going to go like so. Let's see what that looks like. We're getting there. I was looking at the other coins too, and I feel like she picked the hardest one to be her favorite, and I wouldn't expect anything less from my daughter. Maybe we'll go like that. Pick back up. We'll go into there like so. Let's see what that looks like. Now we're getting somewhere. I'm going to clean that mouth up a little bit. Not perfectly and totally in love with that. I think if we just get rid of that wing piece right there, that might save us a little bit. That's what I needed to do. There we go. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to add a little break, something to help it attach, so it doesn't get too flimsy. So now if we look, you can see we're attaching. We're starting to look like a pterodactyl. Let's give it that eyepiece. I'm just going to do this one with lines. We'll go to there. To there. Cut that one out. And I think if we just add this cut, we should be good. So we'll follow along this guy. Now, you know what? I'm going to go and do these in pieces. That's what seems to be the best. We'll give the illusion that we're cutting all of it out, but we're not going to actually cut everything. Let's go here. And there we go. And we'll do one more up here. Follow along the bottom. That's good enough to there. All right, let's see where we're at right now. We'll accept that. And now we're gonna need to, so if we pick, we know we want that. We know we want that, but there's some sort of issue. There's an overlap. So what happens there, you come in here to your sketch, you can click your profile inspector, and it's showing no loose ends found, but there's gotta be, it's a spline that's overlapping somewhere. It's gotta be right there. So if we trim these up, now we should be good, yeah. Okay, and I don't love this. I gotta do something with this body down here. Let's see. Maybe add the toes in too, like the claws. Let's see here. Let's cut that part out. Let's add another piece here. Little break piece. Maybe I do want to go all the way up here. Go ahead and trim that part out right there. We'll fix our extrude to add that piece there. I feel like it looks all right, but it's not going to give me the full detail. I guess when we start to turn it, it looks a little better. I need to add something down here on the wings. Let's see what that looks like over there. Let's just turn it pink and let's see what happens. Maybe that's what's messing with me. So I'm gonna right click, click assign or add appearance, and we can pull up the mixer. Yep, I think that's all it was. I kept looking at it as a blue. There we go. So if you notice, I clicked add appearance to face. I want to click that whole part and say edit appearance, and we'll pick that. We'll go super hot pink. I think that's like the acrylic that I got. Come over here to our appearance panel. Cool. And there we have a little coin. Now, not the strongest thing in the world. I think I'm going to increase the depth on that. I might cut a couple of times and see what it looks like. I know I want to increase that toe right now. So let's make this a little bit thicker. Let's come this way like so. Oops. Meant to press escape. There we go. So we're gonna extend that toe and down like so. And when we go to our extrude, we can make sure that we select that part. And it doesn't look too bad. Shut that sketch off. There we go. Cool. All right, so this is great. This is nice. This is a nice little ring. The problem we have now is that it needs to be a ornament. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our sketch 1, and we're going to add a circle, but we're going to track up from the center from my, you know what, if it doesn't do it, because there's too many points, there we go. I'm going to make this a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to put a circle in the middle that is 0.25, so 1/4 inch. And then I'm going to tell this to tangent to here. And before we go any further, so it doesn't mess anything up, I want to fix that outside piece so it doesn't move. Now, this drawing doesn't have any dimensions except for those two hole dimensions right now. So if I were to start doing some stuff like I'm going to do right now, we're going to end up with some issues. If I was added dimensions, it's gonna end up messing the whole drawing we just did, because nothing's, you notice it's all blue, nothing is actually defined, and that usually happens when you do a lot of spline. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to draw another circle, and I'm going to tell it to tangent to the big circle and to that 1/2 inch. And at this point, this is where I kind of like to just eyeball it and see what that looks pretty good to me. 0.3, maybe we go 0.5 on that too. Nice sweep. We'll do 0.5, and then we'll trim that. So then I have a nice way for that to sweep like so. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to get rid of the tangent command on that one. I want to drop it a little lower. There we go. And then we'll mirror, turn our planes back on. We'll select that mirror line, mirror that over like so, and we can trim away all this stuff we don't need. Click accept, and there we have it. I have a Christmas ornament for my daughter. Pink Power Ranger pterodactyl coin. She's going to be super excited. But now, to keep things fair, what I'm going to do is do the same thing, but I'm going to duplicate this part studio. So I'm going to right click, duplicate. You'll see I have part studio 1 copy that just opened. And now at this point, I'm going to go into my sketch 1, and I'm going to delete this drawing. But my sketch 2 will still be there. And what's nice is I can leave everything. Let's fix that. And then I want to select everything else. So all the pterodactyl I want to get rid of. And now in sketch 1, I'm going to insert my Spider-Man face. We're going to do the same thing. Shift S, find my center point, tell it that that and that need to coincide, and that need to coincide, because I already said those need to be vertical. Hopefully it didn't move, so we'll go center point circle. We'll click, and I believe we said that needed to be about 3. And if we do final, you can say okay. Double click that sketch. And what was that size? That was 3.393. So if we go back to sketch 1, I can change that 3.393. And now if we look, we're going to be lining up perfect where the other one was. And actually, I think I want to go a little bit bigger. Let's see what 4 does. On sketch 1, if we make that exactly 4, I think there's enough overlap that it's going to do what I want. Yeah, there we go. So sketch 2, this time we'll get rid of that. I think there's enough of a lip here to where I'm going to be good, and we'll go from there. So same process, obviously. It's going to take a little more time, but we are at 25 minutes right now, so I am going to cut it short. Next thing you would do after this, obviously, would be to right click, and you need to export this. So I could say export as a STL, and I would name it PTERADACTYL coin ornament. Ornament. I thought I got pterodactyl. I was close. Pterodactyl, not terra. Pterodactyl. And then you would download it however you want. So Parasolid, ACIS, Step, IGES. I do STL for 3D printing if I wanted to do that. However, what we're going to do is I only want to select that front face. I'm going to right click and say export as DXF, and then do the same thing. You can do it as a DXF or a DWG, and then I would cut it out on my laser table. So that's going to do it for us. I hope you guys are picking some stuff up and picking up some tricks. Next week's winter workshop, we'll have some more projects to do. We're on Thanksgiving break right now, so I'll get these cut out on Monday when I'm at school after hours. And then I have some more projects to come. So stay tuned. If you guys have any ideas for projects that you might want for this winter time, let me know. I have a Christmas tree in mind, and some other things that we might do in my welding class, and my woodworking class. So stay tuned for that. You guys hopefully had a good Thanksgiving, and I wish you happy holidays. You guys take care.